Hello everyone, welcome to the 15th lecture of Southeast Asia Lecture Hall. I am Dr. Muhammad Nazri Muhammad Noor, Head of Political Science Program, University Kebangsaan Malaysia for the National University of Malaysia. We are happy to say that throughout the past year, Foreign Policy Committee of Indonesia, FPCI, has successfully convened the Southeast Asia Lecture Hall, which is a series of virtual lectures delivered by prominent academics and experts in their fields to students and lecturers across Southeast Asia. This year, we would like to acknowledge the 11 curriculum partner universities that have been most active in sending students. Ladies and gentlemen, to deliver the 15th lecture, we have Professor Donald Emmerson here today. Professor Emmerson specialized in the comparative politics, especially Southeast Asia, on which he has published many articles and several books.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here to discuss with colleagues, a number of colleagues, especially outside the United States, the topic of international relations. The series of lectures on international relations that my remarks today continue began in August 2021 with a first-rate presentation by my longtime friend and colleague, Professor Amitav Acharya. He, more than anyone I know, has worked to diversify the study of international relations. That is IR, which I'm going to use throughout the talk, IR. Apart from being a specialty among analysts who work in the intellectual world of scholarship and policy advice, of course, IR is an activity among countries that live in the real world of conflict and cooperation among countries. There's a completely different approach, which is to make a presentation that captures a fear. And the fear rests on a prediction of what could happen, even though it may not happen. And based on that fear, I suppose one should hope that policymakers will do something to respond and make sure that the bad thing doesn't happen. Pictures a scholar who says of something, look, I know it works in practice, but the real question is, does it work in theory? And then everybody laughs because it is funny. I mean, come on, if it works in practice, well, why? I mean, who cares, right? Well, partly, of course, there is the drive of the academic intelligence, which simply wants knowledge for its own sake. Okay, it works well, whatever it is. But if I understand why it works and I can develop a theory about why it works, maybe I can apply that theory to other cases and develop things that work in those other cases as well. So, I don't think we can just throw theory completely out of the window to it, and I'm sure they are, but they don't have a voice, right? And so the basis of being an academic is freedom of speech, freedom of thought. And therefore, I think we have to be careful when we advocate the expansion of the study of international relations beyond the West to make sure that we are aware of the different contexts in which that study would take place. Contexts that might enhance the intellectual power and value and accuracy and utility of that kind of IR study, but at the same time might basically kill it, might prevent the kind of objectivity that every scholar, it seems to me, should aspire to.
Recently, for the past couple of months, ever since the conflict of Ukraine started, there have been talks by President Putin in Russia discussing the idea of a multipolar international community or multipolar world. How can a multipolar world, as stated by Putin, exist in coincidence with a rules-based international order promoted by the United States and the Western countries, and
Global South can take over the Global North's role? If yes, do you think this will run smoothly like what idealists would think, or there will be a clash like what realists would think?
Thanks again, Professor Emmerson, for very interesting and exciting ideas and sharing with us today. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Make sure to fill in the form that has been sent in the Zoom and YouTube chat box to confirm your attendance in the lecture and get your e-certificates.